Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like if you enjoy it. Your support means a lot to us and helps the channel grow. Thank you so much. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Something more than clocks and calendars. You've probably heard phrases like, "time is money," or "don't waste my time" more than once. We're used to talking about time as something technical, measurable, like temperature or distance. But the truth is, time isn't the numbers on your smartphone screen. It's not the hands on a clock, and it's definitely not a calendar with dates crossed out. Time is your life. You don't possess time. You are time. Everything you feel, everything you remember, everything you love, these are slices of time you once lived through. And right now, as you listen to these words, you're living too. Second by second, breath by breath, thought by thought, you're changing, you're moving forward, even if you're sitting still, because time moves on. And it won't ask if you're ready. Have you ever wondered why some minutes feel like forever, while days fly by unnoticed? Why do you remember a morning from 5 years ago better than last night? It's simple. It's not about the number of hours. It's about how alive you were in that moment, how present you were, how much you felt, noticed, absorbed. But most people live their days as if they're fast-forwarding a movie. Work, phone, commute, news, television shows, sleep, and then the cycle repeats. They're not living. They're just taking up space on the calendar. It's like they hope that someday, in the future, their real life will begin. But here's the paradox. Real life is what you either live now or you never live at all. How much time do you have left? You don't know. Nobody knows. That's the power of time and its cruelty. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't give a second chance. It just goes. And every moment is a choice, to give yourself over to the meaningless or to fill your reality with meaning. Listen closely. Right now, in this very instant, your heart is beating, and that means you're alive. But it doesn't guarantee that you're living. That's why we're starting with this simple but frightening thought. All you have is time. Not money or status. Not problems or temporary life difficulties. Not even health. All of these can be lost or regained. All of them, but not time. Spent minutes won't come back. Unnoticed hours won't be recovered. The life you didn't truly experience will pass you by. And here's what you should think about right now. When you miss a moment, you lose a little piece of yourself. Chapter 2. A resource you don't even notice. You don't get to choose whether or not to spend time. It spends itself, constantly, second by second. Even when you're doing nothing, when you're procrastinating, when you're putting life on hold, you're spending it, as if you have an unlimited supply. These two lines from the Pink Floyd song Time capture the essence. And then one day you find 10 years have got behind you. No one told you when to run. You missed the starting gun. Imagine a bank account. Every day, exactly 86,400 seconds are deposited into it. And at midnight, everything you haven't used consciously is lost. Without the possibility of saving, getting it back, giving it to someone else, or exchanging it, all you can do is spend it. And here's the paradox. People guard their money, keep passwords for online banking, and consult with financial advisors, but almost no one guards their time. You wouldn't give a stranger access to your bank card, but every day you give access to your hours and minutes to unfamiliar apps, useless news, people who bring nothing to your life. You pay with your most valuable resource for emptiness. Why? Because you don't feel the loss. You see money, but time, you don't. It slips away silently, like sand through your fingers. It doesn't shout when you lose it. It just disappears. But here's what's important. As soon as you realize its value, you start to feel it. You start waking up in the morning not just because you have to, but because you can. Because every morning is a chance to bet on yourself. And if you don't invest time in your own life, someone else will invest it in theirs. You've noticed, haven't you? The moment you start to be aware of the passage of time, it seems to speed up. Yesterday was summer. Today, it's already winter. A year has passed, but what has changed? You yourself? Your dreams? Your reality? Or are you still standing in the same spot, just in new clothes? There comes a moment when you start to understand every now is a unique moment. It won't happen again, and no one will give it back to you. And then a troubling but important question arises. Am I living now, in this unrepeatable moment, or am I just existing? Chapter 3. The time you live by someone else's goals. Have you ever asked yourself, whose dreams are you making come true? Yours, or those of the people who told you what the path should be? School, university, work, mortgage, status, stability, these things aren't bad in themselves. But stop. Did you choose this yourself? Or did you just follow the tracks laid down before you? A huge number of people live their days on autopilot. They don't wake up because they want to, but because they have to. They don't work for a dream, but for a report. They don't live by their heart's calling, but because that's what's done. And all of this is a huge waste of time, not because being busy is bad, but because being busy without meaning is the cruelest form of pointless existence. You can be incredibly busy, and yet not move anywhere, running in circles, being productive on paper, and empty inside. The irony is that the more you're loaded with external affairs, the less time you have for internal questions. And yet, it's in these questions that your essence lies. It's they that define who you are. Modern society teaches you to look outward, to watch how others live, to strive for an image, not a state of being. You look at other people's profiles, compare yourself, copy them, and you imperceptibly drift away from yourself. This is the trap. You spend your time on someone else's lifestyle. You're not going where your happiness is, but where someone else's approval is. But here's a thought. No one but you will regret your wasted time. No one will give you back those hours when you did what you had to, instead of what you wanted to. And no one will live for you the path that could have been only yours. As Dan Millman wrote, there are no ordinary moments. And understanding the depth of this short statement can change your reality forever. If you're living someone else's life, you're losing your own present. And it's here that the awakening begins. From the moment you first honestly ask yourself, but what do I really want? Chapter 4. Time through the eyes of the universe. When you think about time, you picture a clock, a calendar, minutes, seconds, everything strict, measurable, ordered. But from the universe's point of view, it's completely different. In the early 20th century, Albert Einstein turned our understanding of time upside down, stating, "Time is an illusion, but a very persistent one." He proved that time doesn't flow the same for everyone. It's flexible. It slows down or speeds up depending on speed and gravity. And this isn't philosophy. It's physics. If you were near a black hole, your clock would tick slower than those who remained on Earth. You would literally age slower. Space and time are a single entity, which he called the space-time continuum. Now imagine, if for the universe, time isn't a linear straight line, but a complex, changing structure. Isn't it strange that we humans live as if we'll always have it? As if we have eternity in reserve and can always say later, someday, not now. Physicist Carlo Rovelli writes, "The past and the future do not exist in physics. There is only the present. Everything else is a construction of our minds." This doesn't mean you shouldn't plan. It means that the only moment available to you is now. Only in this point of reality can you feel, choose, act. Everything else is either a dead past or a hypothetical future. The scientific understanding of time opens up a philosophical abyss before us. It shows that our life isn't just a series of events. It's a tiny flash of light in a giant, almost still cosmos. And in this flash, you are the main character. Only you decide how your moments will pass. Will they be filled with meaning, or will they flow into eternity empty? We don't control time, but we can control our attention, our choices, our presence in every moment. This is what mindfulness is. Knowing about time from a physics perspective doesn't devalue it. On the contrary, it emphasizes you have an incredible gift. You can think, feel, create, make choices, and most importantly, determine the flow of your own time. So, how will you use all of this? Chapter 5. Incoming Call. One day, you wake up. Not because your sleep is over, but because something inside you has sounded an alarm. You get up in the morning, drink your coffee, look out the window, and something within you trembles. As if an inner clock has started ringing somewhere deep inside. As if a quiet voice is whispering, asking, "Are you living or just existing?" This feeling doesn't come all at once. It builds slowly. First, you just feel tired. Then, small things begin to irritate you. Then apathy creeps in. And one day, you suddenly realize every day feels exactly like the one before. Time slips through your fingers, and you're not even sure what you're trying to hold on to. And then, it rings, your inner alarm clock. Not always as a loud revelation. Sometimes, it comes as a soft, almost sorrowful thought. I'm not living the life I should be. I'm not where I belong. I'm not myself. Many people try to silence this ringing. With work, with their phones, with meaningless meetings, with new goals that bring no real joy. But deep down, the feeling continues to hum, like a quiet, anxious signal. Time is passing, and you're still not where you're meant to be. This moment is crucial, because it can mark the beginning of a new life. It's the moment that tells you, it's time to truly wake up. You can't change the past. You don't know the future. But you can choose this moment. What is truly important to you? What makes you feel alive, not just functional? And what do you want to carry with you into the future? Consciously, with purpose, and with heart. Each of us experiences this awakening in different ways. For some, it comes with the death of a loved one. For others, a breakup, a collapsed dream, a stretch of loneliness. But if, in that moment, you don't turn away from the pain, if you dare to look into it, you'll see something glowing inside it. That light is the thirst for a real life. You don't need to start a revolution. You don't have to quit everything. But you do owe it to yourself to try, at the very least, to become your true self. To admit what you feel, to realize where you're wasting time, to understand where you truly want to go. Chapter 6. The Art of Presence. How to reclaim your now. Time is what we want most, but what we use worst. William Penn. Have you ever tried to just sit in silence and do nothing? Without your phone, without music, without trying to be productive. Just be. At first, it feels strange. Then, anxious. Then, uncomfortable. And then, the magic begins. You start to hear yourself. Not the version that lives in your head, not the script written by society, but your true essence. It is in such moments that mindfulness is born, a state where you don't run from the present, but are present in it. Not just existing, but living, fully, deeply, without autopilot. Many say that happiness is achieving a goal, but the truth is that happiness is a state that arises precisely in the moments when you are in the present, when you're not replaying the past or guessing about the future, but you're inhaling the air, feeling the warmth of the sun on your skin, hearing the birds singing, and feeling that you are alive. This is the art of presence, and it doesn't come by chance. It's a choice, it's a skill, it's a practice. It's the ability to say, right now is enough, because now is all we have. From a psychological perspective, mindfulness is one of the key tools for dealing with anxiety, depression, and burnout. Studies show that practicing mindfulness reduces stress levels, improves attention, and even changes the structure of the brain towards greater calmness and resilience. And, from a physics perspective, every moment in time is unique and irreversible. In classical mechanics, time is linear, but in quantum mechanics, it can be relative. What does this mean for you? It means that everything that truly exists is now, not yesterday, not tomorrow, only this second, only this breath. When you realize this, everything changes. You stop living in anticipation. You stop being a prisoner of the future. You start building your life here and now, from what you have, from who you are. You become the master of the moment. And then, even the simplest day can turn into a miracle, because you are present in it, not as a shadow, but as a living person, feeling, thinking, breathing. Chapter 7. The Inner Compass. You have learned the art of presence, the ability to appreciate every now. You've begun to notice the fleeting beauty of the moment, the taste of the present. But how do you navigate the flow of these very nows? How do you understand which ones truly enrich your life and which are simply wasted? Imagine a quiet forest. Amidst the rustling of leaves and the singing of birds, you can hear your own inner voice, your true desires. But as soon as the noise of cars or loud music appears, this voice is drowned out. It's the same with time. External circumstances, others' expectations, the flow of information create a constant noise that prevents you from hearing your own inner compass. This inner compass is nothing other than your values, your deep aspirations, what is truly important to you at a soul level. But to hear it, you need to learn to create inner silence, to distance yourself from the external noise of time. How do you do this? Start small. Set aside at least a few minutes a day for silence. Put away your phone. Turn off notifications. Just be alone with yourself. Observe your thoughts and feelings without judging them, simply noting their presence. It's like tuning a radio. At first there's interference, but gradually you begin to catch a weak but distinct wave, the voice of your inner self. Ask yourself simple but important questions. What brings me true joy? What fills me with energy, rather than draining it? What do I do not because I have to, but because I want to? The answers to these questions are the pointers of your inner compass. They will help you understand what is truly worth spending your precious time on. You may find that a significant portion of your time is spent on things that do not align with your true values. This could be a job that doesn't bring satisfaction, relationships that weigh you down, or meaningless time spent on social media. Recognizing this is the first step towards redirecting your time. Don't be afraid to make difficult choices. Giving up something that takes away your energy and time can be challenging, but it's necessary to free up space for what truly matters. Remember, every yes you give to one thing is an inevitable no to something else. Be mindful in your choices. Listen to your feelings. When you are engaged in something you truly enjoy, time seems to stop. You immerse yourself in a flow. Feel a surge of energy and inspiration. This is a sure sign that you are moving in the right direction, following your inner compass. Creating a life filled with meaning is not a race for achievements, but the art of consciously living each moment in accordance with your true values. Learn to hear your inner voice in the noise of time, and you will be able to direct your most valuable resource to what truly makes you feel alive. Chapter 8. The Value of Choice. Your time isn't just the clock on the wall. It's currency, the most valuable you'll ever have. And every day you exchange it. The only question is, for what? You don't realize it, but every yes in life means dozens of invisible no's. When you choose to stay in a job you don't like, you say no to new opportunities. When you open social media again, you say no to a conversation with yourself, with loved ones, with reality. And just like that, imperceptibly, your time bank flows away like water through your fingers. And yet, time is the only resource that cannot be earned, returned, or saved. It can only be directed. And that's what makes it so precious. It illuminates your priorities. It shows who you are, not by your words, but by your actions. Want to know what's really important to you? Look at where your time goes. Not your money, not your energy, but your time, because that's where your life is. But here's the trap. We live in a world where everyone wants your attention. Technology, advertising, other people's ambitions. Everything is designed to devour your time. And if you don't learn to filter, if you don't start choosing consciously, you will live someone else's life. As philosopher Henry Thoreau said, "The mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation and go to the grave with the song still in them." Choice is a tool of power, but not over others, over yourself. When you learn to say no to the unnecessary, you finally create space for the real, for the important, for yourself. And in this choice, maturity manifests itself. Not an emotional reaction, not an escape from pain, but a clear understanding. My time, my decision, my life, my direction. Not my parents, not the systems, not fears, but mine. The scientific view confirms this. Neurobiology proves that conscious choice activates the brain regions responsible for self-regulation and strategic thinking. This means that when you learn to make choices that align with your values, you literally rewire your brain, becoming more resilient, confident, and internally free. And you know what's most amazing about this? You don't have to drastically change everything. Sometimes it's enough to realize that you have the right to decide. You can choose who to be with, what to do, what to feel, where to be, and in every moment, choose what brings you closer to yourself, not further away. Chapter 9. To live is to be here and now. You've already understood. Time isn't just a flow of hours and minutes. It's your breath, your pulse, your here and now. It's not a line you stand on, waiting for something more. It's not preparation for the future. It is your life. But how often do you truly live? Not just exist, not just fulfill obligations, not just run between must and should, but truly live. Most people confuse movement with progress, busyness with meaning, success with happiness. They strive for achievements, make plans, postpone joy for later. But later doesn't exist. There is only now. Dan Millman said, "Death isn't sad. The sad thing is, most people don't live at all." And in this phrase lies both tragedy and truth. To die, that is natural. But to go through life without ever unfolding, without ever allowing yourself to be real, that is what's truly terrifying. You can spend years chasing someone else's goals, trying to please, making excuses, holding back. You can live as if time is endless. But in reality, you're not just losing minutes. You're losing the opportunity to be yourself. And that is an irreplaceable loss. And here comes the moment of truth. You don't have to follow the path laid out for you. You can choose your own direction. Your time can become a tool for liberation, not a cage. The scientific view once again suggests. Modern research in cognitive psychology shows that attention to the present moment reduces anxiety, strengthens the immune system, and even prolongs life. These aren't just pretty words. This is the biology of mindfulness. You've been programmed to believe that happiness is a point on the horizon, career, relationships, money, but happiness is a state. It lives within the moment, in how you feel, how you breathe, how you look at the sun through the morning window. When you start to perceive time as life, you stop killing it. You stop waiting. You start being. After all, right now is all you have. Just think about it. Right now, you are 1 second closer to death. So live, every day. Don't exist. Live. Thank you for staying with us until the end. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. Your support truly helps us grow. We appreciate it so much.